I think one of the biggest things that just comes up again and again is like there's going to be those times when you just don't want to do work. Like the level of like I don't want to do work is going to be just so high, but also the level of you knowing I need to do work is also going to be like pretty high. But it's going to get to a point you're like I know I need to do it, but I really don't want to do it. And so many times successful people say, "Oh, just like, work over your feelings. Like don't let your feelings affect your work." I've kind of said that too, right? It's so much easier to just like say that and kind of give you guys advice like that. It's a whole different thing to actually implement it because when you're just sitting there and you don't want to do work, it's almost like you're immobile. Like you don't want to move, you don't want to do anything, right? But you have to realize that like back with the time thing, this day is going to pass whether you want it to or not. And whether you get the work done and you can move on to the next thing is also going to be based off of your decisions in that moment. In this moment right now, if I don't study for today, I'm going to face the consequences later for my finals. And it's not about like if I want to study today or not. It's something I kind of have to do. You have to move past like the want and realize it's like a have. Like you don't have a choice. Like at the end of the day, it's really hard. If you want to get to a new place, if you want to reach new levels, you really do not have a choice. So many people negotiate with themselves. They say, "Oh, like I'm gonna take a rest. I need some like rest," which is fine. I'm not saying don't take breaks and stuff, but realize that there's a level of breaks that you actually need to avoid burnout. And I've kind of realized this from personal experience. And there's also unnecessary breaks that you don't need. So don't like overindulge in stuff and then just have it derail you. Really stay focused on I need to get as much done as possible, like all the time, and then take rest whenever you feel like you should be like re-energizing or recharging from that. Also with rest, I want to like make you guys realize that there's a level of rest you need to like avoid being burned out, and there's also a level of rest that you're probably taking right now. And if those levels of rest slash breaks are different, you need to realize that you may be taking kind of too many breaks. You may be giving yourself a little bit too much leeway. And the reason why I say this is like we need to maximize as much time as we have. Like in a day when everything is so packed, you have a million things. Every minute is like a war. Like you have to fight that, just like to battle to make sure it's being productive. This is why it saddens me to see people like doom scrolling all the time, or their screen time is some like atrocious number, like I don't know, 6 hours or something like that, right? Like you're just burning all this time that there are literally people out here like billionaires, millionaires, incredibly famous people that are just fighting for their life every single minute. They're just trying to get so much done. They're like fighting with time to just get so much done in a day. And here you are just burning time. Like there's a reason why successful people, most of them are not going to be scrolling on social media their whole day because they have stuff to do, they have places to be, and they know that doing those things and meeting people or like working on certain things is going to be the ultimate thing that grows them and makes them even more successful. And I think this ties back to the thing I mentioned like in a couple of videos ago of like how now it's very hard for me to like sleep in. It's just like unless I go to bed really late, which typically doesn't happen ever, like I'll just wake up like before 7. If it's a gym day, it'd be like 5:30 ish, and then. But even if I try to be like, oh, like I want to like sleep a little bit, like I physically can't. It's a really weird sensation. Like you just feel like kind of not itchy, but you feel like you just need to get moving. And I think that's like because you're chasing the dream and you're chasing something you really believe you can accomplish, and you really think that like if you put in the work, it's totally gonna happen. And so if you have those two beliefs, you're like, why would you be just lying in bed? Like you have something to go get. You have this opportunity of a lifetime. And so many people like think, oh, I don't have the perfect setup. And I agree. Some people may be better off than you and they had a better setup to get successful. I agreed, right? But even those people who had a better setup, there are so many examples of people who just threw it all away and they still somehow failed and never grew. And then they just became an ultimate failure, even though they had the right setup. And yet there's other people who had the worst setup possible, but they just grinded and keep working, and then eventually they become super successful. So I think that everyone hyperfixate on like, oh, my parents aren't rich, or my parents aren't even middle class, or my parents aren't this, my parents aren't that, I don't have this, I don't have that. But they don't focus enough on, okay, put that aside, how hard do you work? And I think ultimately at the end of the day, how hard you work, whether or not you have goals, if you're open to always learning, if you're trying to always grow, those are like the most important things of if you're going to be successful or not. We don't want to focus on what we don't have because that's not going to change unless you change, unless you start working, unless you start working towards your goals and you start putting in that effort. It's very interesting because a lot of people just don't understand this. They just think that, oh, I can give myself an excuse because I don't have XYZ. Or they think that every single billionaire out there just had a rich parent. And some do, I agree. But a good portion also do not. They also just grinded and grinded and grinded. So the sooner you accept that truth, that the only way you're gonna get there is just by focusing on work and literally blocking out all these distractions, all these kind of things that say, oh, you deserve this, or oh, you deserve that. Like, realize you don't deserve anything. The world is not gonna give you anything. You're gonna have to fight for it and take it. You're gonna have to grind your way all the way to success. And there's gonna be so many times when you wanna give up, but like this sense of entitlement, the sense of like, oh, I can take a break now because I'm good enough, you know? Like, what? Where does that even come from? Come on, guys. You gotta work hard, and then if you take a break, it's because you're recharging to work more. Like, there's no such thing as like, oh, I'm gonna take like a me time break kind of thing, right? Like, if it's not for resting and recharging, you shouldn't really be taking it. Why? Because if you're serious about becoming successful, if you're serious about reaching a goal, every extra break that you don't need is just you like kicking yourself in the foot or shooting yourself in the foot. You're purposely stopping yourself from being successful. Like, the more you work, the faster you become successful. So why would you delay the day you become successful by just taking all these breaks right now? Like, is the level of satisfaction and enjoyment that you receive from an extra break now worth pushing back the day you become successful? Like, really think about that. But yeah, anyway, that's all for today. I think I'm gonna just grind out here pretty much. And I'm really excited for spring break because I'll show you guys more of like what I'm planning for spring break. But something I did realize though is I'm gonna grind through finals and it's gonna be a grind. And I've been grinding this whole quarter with everything. And then I've also realized that like spring break, I'm going to grind as well. So some people are like, oh yay, it's like a break, all of this. Like, yeah, for me, I don't know. I just keep going. I just keep pushing. And I'm going to take you guys along for that. So definitely stay posted. Spring break for me is in like a week or so. So I'll be really bringing you guys with me throughout the day there when I'm back home and just you guys see all the stuff I'm kind of working on. But yeah, realize, stop giving yourself excuses. Stop negotiating with yourself. And if you really want to be successful, just get going. Get at it right now. Okay? Remember, work less, do more, and I'll see you guys later.